Joanne, 5 minutes, and I'll let you know when you have 30 seconds left. And again, no picture taking or videos now that we're in session. Afterwards, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Kwei, and good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation to appear before this committee and to contribute to the discussion of S2. I wanted to begin by acknowledging that we are gathered on unceded Algonquin territory, which is my own as well, and a bit of background. I am of Algonquin and Nipissing descent with an unbroken line stemming back to 3 Grand Chiefs. My ancestors traveled from Lake of Two Mountains, Quebec, and rooted themselves at Baptiste Lake, Ontario. And that's another name for us, Baptiste. This connection to my family and history has helped shape my path, and I advocate for fairness and justice with a strong commitment to addressing the complexities of defining citizenship among First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. The realities of the Indian Act registration system, including the second-generation cutoff, are not abstract issues for my family. My mother, who is now 90 years old, applied for status over 40 years ago. I applied over 25 years ago. We were denied multiple times, and it was only in 2023 where we both finally were granted status cards. That process involved years of frustration and reflects how difficult it has been to be formally recognized and connected within our own First Nations of Pikwakanagan. Through my work experience, I began to see how the second-generation cutoff continued to affect our people. In my role as the Employment and Development Officer with an Indigenous organization, I worked directly with First Nations individuals seeking funding for training, employment, and education. One of my primary responsibilities was to verify the individual's Indian status. I consider this to be the first barrier of our people encountered because many individuals were denied not because they lacked the connection, but because they did not meet the requirements under the second-generation cutoff rule. And this leads to the second barrier. Many of our people who are not familiar with the application process outside the First Nation system, it's often the funding is allocated within the first few months, and due to the high volume of applicants, they don't get the chance to get the funding that they would have under the First Nation system. While collaborating with urban Aboriginal organizations, I learned access is often based on connection to community within the same generation, without the same generational restrictions. In contrast, the rigid restriction under the Indian Act continues to exclude individuals based on lineage rules rooted in past sex-based discrimination. In my opinion, the second-generation cutoff is not just a policy, it is an obstacle that continues to exclude individuals who have clear connections to their communities, limiting their access to opportunities and creating inequities that extend across generations. In closing, after what many First Nations families have gone through to be recognized under the Indian Act, the second-generation cutoff results in the exclusion of future generations, diminishing the progress that has been achieved throughout the decades of effort. Further, the denial of access to First Nations programs and services because of these restrictions creates layered barriers that impact the ability of First Nations individuals to support themselves and their families. And I respectfully ask that Bill S2 be passed and amended as is. Thank you.
I want to go to Miss Joanne Greene. You mentioned your mother and yourself were fighting for decades for recognition. How old did you say your mother was?
She's 90. She's actually behind me. Oh, wow. And she came with me. She looks awesome for her age. Hope I do at 90.
That's awesome. And how long did it take that battle to get recognition again?
Pardon?
How long did the battle take to get recognition as?
Well, we received our status card in 2003. A lot of our family did, immediate family and cousins. That was due to, we had, well, the last session was like 8 years of being denied for a reason which we didn't understand, because we didn't live on reserve and we didn't know much about the Indian Act and the processes. So they denied us, and that took another 4 years to process that. But yeah, the process is just, I don't know what word I can use for the system, but it's very divisional. Luckily, with family, and due to my mom too, she's a good person and says what she knows. But anyways, we without that status card, we still knew that we were Indigenous, and we were still proud of it. But that Indigenous status card, why we still went for it, me after 25 years and Mom after 40, is because it does give you the recognition. Because we are treated differently as non-status people. Even in my work, people didn't accept me because, they thought I was taking their money away from them and this and that. So I can say time-wise, it has been a long endeavor, and this S2 is something that the one-parent rule has to come into effect to have a same playing field as everyone else.